All right, let's go back to Monday. iFVG of the week from this day. Ooh, wait, wasn't Monday like kind of bad? Dude, Monday looks bad. I don't know if there was a setup for us on this day. I think it was pre-market, right? Go like here. See? Dude, yeah, there's not a setup, right? On Monday? Does somebody have like a time maybe? I don't see anything here. This is horrible. This we clean up. I guess maybe you take this as an inverse. Maybe you take this, but there's no liquidity sweep. And I guess we swept this low. I think it was pre-market. I don't even think we got to trade pre-market. Maybe the short, but we have London highs. We left relative equal highs there, so nah. Yeah, there's just not a setup. The only setup I would even like say is a valid entry is like this 1 minute here. So this is what we'll say is like our iFVG for Monday. And we will say B setup. I in premium. Good momentum. No sweep. What about draws? Do we have any good draws? No, not at the time. No good gold. Singular gap. What else? Anything? I think it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, like B setup. All right, next day. Okay, Tuesday. I would say I believe we were delivering out of the 4 hour on this day, right? Yeah, so we're coming out of this 4 hour here, so I'd be looking at longs. We leave you know, I guess all-time highs above there. I think it's this 5 minute, right? Um the 5 or the 2, but I think the 5 is actually better because we remanipulate that low. But this says 10 a.m. reversal. What do you guys think? 10 a.m. reversal with bad momentum or soup the low, 5 minute good momentum, more obvious of a gap, more time to engineer liquidity. I think I'm going to go with the 5 minute. So this 5 minute long here, targeting all time highs, whatever that is. I'd say this was a plus. Delivery out of 4 hour singular gap. Good momentum. Low. Um, Gap below mitigated before inverse. What else? Sleep, I guess. Okay. This was a good setup. Was this a break even? Yeah, it was. All right, next setup from Wednesday. I think Wednesday we had actually good setups. Let's see here. Here's 11. We'll do like here. So we're bearish, right? Let's take a look at why. Why do we flip bearish here? Okay, so kind of just the death candle half open, it looks like. We respect this 15-minute gap to the left too. That kind of, you're conditioned to be bullish going into the day. If we inverse that, we never do. We soup this high. So bearish after that. We probably had a long from here, maybe off 9:30 open. Oh yeah, we had the 1 minute. This 1 minute was probably a break even. Was there a good short entry here? I don't believe so. This long is also good, but I think this one here is probably best because the delivery there is good. So we'll say this is the setup here. Maybe you enter a little early. Then you take it to the high. This will be our trade for Wednesday. So swept out our A plus. Took pre-market lows. Delivery out of high time frame gap. Singular gap. Good momentum. I don't think we were running into any other gaps there, right? I mean, yeah, you had the 5 minute, I guess. But you're in early and you just go instant break even. So imagine here, right? We take out sell side liquidity. The next logical place for price to go is to target buy side. So this high incentive for value gap is a very good buy side draw. Yeah, I think this is good. We'll say that. That's good. Another good trade here. I'll just make note of this is this 1 minute long here, right? That the indicator alerts. I think this is the second best trade of the day, and then this trade is also good here. This 1 minute long. I think all these longs are good. I especially like this one because we get like the manipulation like here. Kind of project that out, see where price is gonna go. Did we have issues with like delivery here? No, we were coming off of that 4 hour there, so that was fine. But yeah, obviously, if we come down and we sweep lower, we can get a better long. Was this the day that we had a good long in PM? I don't remember. Wow. Okay. So going into like Thursday here, this is so crazy because this soup of the low. Oh yeah, this was the day that we got that good long during PM. So check this out. This is what made me bullish going into Thursday. I know some of you were bearish, but this is what made me bullish. So we come down here after selling off, on Wednesday, and we run this low inside the fair value gap, and then we get this bullish reaction off that 15-minute. And so I think in PM we actually end up taking a long here because of that. We took this, right? And then this was just a bottom tick break even for me, and then price ran, which, yeah. So that was good too. I like that long off that low. And then we're bullish coming into today with our condition being the, I guess, 1 hour gap to the left here, right? That sent price up initially. And so as long as this is holding, we will continue to be bullish. So with that idea in mind, let's look for the bullish long here. That's like our long setup for the day, and that would be this 5 minute. This 5 minute confirmation setup is the setup of the day. This is a setup, no sweep. That's the only thing that doesn't make it A plus. We get confirmation setup, 5 minute inverse to the left, singular gap, really good momentum. clearly bullish. Respected 1 hour. What was the draws above? It was like this, like kind of like pseudo LRLR. To me, this was a little steep, but some people were calling this LRLR, and I could see the vision. Right, that's a lot of stacked highs, all in the same, um, trend line. So we'll call it pseudo LRLR. A little steep. And then, yeah, I mean, some of you probably got break even, some of you didn't, because that wick down was brutal. But yeah, there was also another long here, which I think was this. Something you could have gotten green. Or maybe it was, I don't know. There was definitely another long. Yeah, this one. This one was really good too. Because we come down, we run the low here. There's a 2-minute for value gap. So this was really good too. This is my second favorite setup of the day. And then there was also a long during lunch that was good. Kind of the same idea, just less obvious. This one here. So like I would go A plus. Maybe I'll make this one the setup of the day. No, because the draws are worse. So this is still an A setup because the draws got ran. So A minus probably. All right, last day, Friday. Friday we had longs and shorts play out. We were mainly looking for shorts though. Will I post screenshots of the setups? No, but Ryan normally does his little Twitter thread, and so if he agrees with the setups that I picked, then he'll post those. If not, it'll be his pick. So you get a little bit of both. Um, so no entry for this long, right? Just blast up off news. Create that data low. We get a short setup here on the 2-minute that is targeting that data low. I didn't take it because I figured we would get a better short from the highs again. But this worked to the low and then was obviously a break even. So this would be probably a setup, counter trend, singular gap, delivery out of 30-second BPR. Good momentum. Right at open, data low below. There's other setups from today too that were decent. Like this 1-minute long here to the data high, I thought was good. Ryan said this was a bad setup. This was the worst setup ever because we had the data low below. But I thought it was fine if you entered. What I did is I entered off the retrace here, so I could get a better fill because this fill was bad and then target there. Another fine one I think was this long here. Obviously the draw is way worse. This is like an A minus setup. We have an SMT at the low there, so we get the sweep for the entry, and we have delivery to the left. That 3-minute gap that's still holding. And my idea for looking for longs here was as long as we were holding this 3 and 2-minute gap, I would still be bullish. And then we get the short here, which goes along with the bias. This is probably what Ryan will put as his like setup of the day. It's either that first 2-minute that I just showed or this one here. I really like this entry. I alerted this. I said, we enter off the 2-minute here because the momentum is so strong and we don't have to wait for the 3 minutes. So this would be another A setup. Good, really good momentum. Macro, singular gap, significant, singular comma, significant gap. Anything else? I think that's it. But yeah, this is good too. That's gonna be about it. And then there was also this 30-second short, but I mean, I'm probably not gonna include this because yeah. What about the 30-second? This is not good. This isn't good because you don't know if price wants to be bearish here and go for the data low yet, but you also don't know if we're bullish. And then there was a 1 minute or something and then there's gaps to the left here. So there's that 30-second, but when you enter the 30-second, you're longing into these 3-minute bearish gaps. So there's just too many conflicting things in the way. I would have never taken this 30-second long. Was there any good losers? There was one good loser. I think it was a 2-minute short. I thought it was fine. I don't remember what day it was, but I know there was like a 2-minute short that like instantly lost. That like made sense to for somebody to take it. I wouldn't be too upset if I lost on it and I took it. I don't remember what day that was. I think it might have been Wednesday. Yeah, it was this. So if somebody took this 2-minute short and lost, I would not be upset because this 2-minute short's actually pretty decent. We run the high, turtle soup, singular gap. The only bad part about it is the momentum, but we're in the macro, so like momentum could speed up. And as long as you have bias time in the model, like you're good, which we get here, and then it just instantly loses, and then it wins. So ultimately, like the idea is right here. It's just like bad delivery. Like why would we chop during the macro? So yeah, this is like the only setup that I would be like, if I lost on it, I wouldn't feel too bad. The reason this lost is just because sometimes setups lose, right? We don't have an 100% win rate model. We have like a 70 to 80, so that means 2 out of every 10 setups are going to lose. This was the 2 out of 10. Why do you not put stop loss at the swing point there? Because that's not the model. We are not PB. The model is a close back above. Because in most cases, if we see an iFVG fail, it'll just run to that high regardless. That's through, back testing and data that we've collected. You talk about FOMO after break evens. I mean, I had 2 trades where I got bottom tick break even. If you go into PM trade recaps, they're both there. I get bottom tick break even. One was on my runners, and the other one was on the initial entry, and then it flew to my target. In both of those cases, I just had to watch the trade play out, and that's completely okay because despite both of those things happening, I didn't crash out, I didn't chase, I didn't re-enter, and because of that, I was rewarded. I ended up making 6R this week, right? So the best thing to do there is just to continue to be patient, right? Don't let it get to you. So for the stop loss for this trade, that 2-minute that lost, what you would do is you could enter, right, and have your stop at the high, the hard stop, right? But what we do when we trade the iFVG models, we have a manual stop loss, and that triggers anytime we have price close back above the inverse. So imagine we get on replay mode here, right? Starting on this candle, price closes below, okay? If price closes back above the inverse, meaning we close back above the gap, that is your stop loss, okay? And you would just market exit there, right? You can market exit for like 14 points. And normally the way that I size my positions, right? So if you look at this trade, if I'm risking $200 on it, that allows me to take 3 micros to the high, but most of our plays aren't going to be at the high when we lose. It's going to be somewhere between the optimal stop loss, which would be about 10 points here, and the high. So you split the difference. You say, okay, if this stops me out, it should, be about a 20-point stop, right? Which allows you to size 5 micros. Okay, so that's the sizing you would go in. You take the L. You end up only losing 15 points, which is only a $150 loss. So you were trying to size for 200. You only take a 15-point loss. That allows you to take, more trades in the future because that's good risk management, right? You're not going to end up blowing an account doing that, right? Maybe the next trade is a 25-point loss, and then you average it out, and it's about $200 per trade. Okay? That's about it. What do you recommend other than journaling after you crash out? I blew a funded. Okay. Whenever you feel those emotions kind of bubbling up, whether it's after a setup or whatever, that's your sign that you need to lock away. Or not lock away. Lock out and walk away. Um, because anytime you're emotionally trading, you're going to make bad decisions. Your judgment's going to be clouded. You're not going to be, noticing things that you would notice when your mind is clear. And so the best thing to do is just walk away in that scenario. Maybe wait till the next session. Maybe wait till the next day. Um, if a setup is really getting to you, right? Remove yourself from the environment. Don't let yourself get to the point of like crashing out. Be like, dang, that sucked. This really sucks. I can't do this right now. But also, you know, having the proper mindset so that you don't even get to that point helps as well. Like recognizing that as long as you're taking the proper entries, you shouldn't feel bad about it, a loss. Like that 2 minute, for example, that was a good entry. If I saw somebody lose on that, or I lost on that, like I wouldn't feel any type of way about it. I'd be like, all right, well, on to the next setup. What can you do? That actually happened this week during PM. If you guys want to go look at that video I uploaded, we ended up taking a loss, and it's because I wasn't patient, and I wanted an entry that like seemed good enough, so it met my threshold. But I didn't feel bad about taking the loss on it. I just knew that there would be a better setup, right? I actually mentioned it in the trade recap. I'm like, yeah, this setup's okay, but this would be even better. And we end up getting the even better. And so because I don't crash out, because I don't let judgment cloud my emotions, I say, okay, I took the loss. I understood the risk going into that trade. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for another good setup. We waited. We got the good setup about 30 minutes later, and I took that, right? So that's all you have to do anytime you take a loss. Is just like, recognize the risk going into the trade, realize that like it's out of your control after that. You set your parameters, your stop loss, your take profit, whatever, and whatever happens, happens. Bravo. If that's your case, if you want to go and collect your own data and then come back, I think that's totally fine. But you need to know what you're looking for first. So, make sure you're kind of following that list for journaling. I think I talked about it this week during AM. But yeah, just this idea of like analysis before the trade, the entry, analysis during the trade, the exit, and psychology. As long as you're tracking those things, um, then you should be in good shape. Was there a long setup on Friday right at open? No, I don't think so. Yeah, no. We just oh wait, that was 8:30, my bad. Yeah, there was this long setup here at 9:33, but I said already that I didn't like it because we were longing into other bearish gaps above. Right? So if I'm going to take an entry, I want the gap to be singular and I want it to confirm that we're bullish to the high in that dealing range. So this 30-second doesn't really do that. Or at least the next gap, you know. The problem with the 30-second is you're entering right as the next gap hits. So it's kind of low probability. I've seen a lot of 30-second setups fail where like you try and enter on that initial 30-second inverse, but then that inverse runs into a 3-minute gap, and then we just reject the 3-minute gap and the setup fails. And that'll usually happen a lot of the time between 9:30 and 9:50 because you're trying to catch that retracement or that reversal off the Judas swing, and you're just early, and so the setup just fails. So, um, yeah, that's about all I'd have to say about that. How many setups is common for you to take a month? Dude, this month I've taken so many because I knew that it was going to be a good month. So because I anticipated that the volatility was going to give us a lot of trades, I executed on that. Um, but in a typical given month, I'll take per week like 3 to 5 setups during AM and like 2 to 4 during PM. So on average, I'll take 7 setups for every 5 trading days, and then extrapolate that out to about a month. That means I'll take about 28 setups in a month. This month, I think I've probably hit 40 already. Was August a red month for Dodgy? I have no idea. I don't know anything about Dodgy's profitability. Just that he is long-term profitable, but he doesn't update me on his profit month by month. How did I know it was going to be a good month? Because of the volatility and the fact that we were away from all-time highs. I said it in PM too, like not even as a marketing gimmick. I straight up said 10-13. Don't miss out on this volatility 1 for 1. And since then, we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 setups. Wait, no. Six setups since the 13th for PM. It's about 3 a week. Good. Can you break down news or like a little oversight for next week? Sure. I mean, all I have to do is look at financial juice. Nothing on Monday. We've got consumer confidence Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got nothing. Oh, wait, we have FOMC rate decision. Okay, so we have FOMC on Wednesday. That's actually a big deal. And we have huge earnings. Okay, so Wednesday is just going to be terrible. Wednesday morning's going to be bad. Wednesday afternoon's probably going to be bad because, FOMC and then earnings. Thursday, we have nothing. And Friday, we have easy. Okay, so Wednesday, Friday, we have news. Wednesday's probably not going to be good. Friday will be good. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we have no news. Yeah, Monday's going to be choppy. Wednesday, be cautious. What do I think about shorts on the 23rd? I think I probably gave my thoughts on that already, to be honest. So if you go back and watch iFVGs of the week, you'll probably see that. But yeah, I wouldn't have looked for shorts here, to be honest. We were so bullish. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Alrighty, guys. If I don't wrap up now, I'm just going to keep getting questions after question after question. So I will catch all of you on Monday. Thank you guys for sticking around with me and asking these good questions. I'll upload the video, add it to the doc, and I will catch all of you on Monday. Good, everyone.